Your gifts directly contribute to real, tangible change on our campus and will immediately impact all of our students. With your support, we can expand our programs and fund enhancements to our classrooms and co-curricular learning experiences. Your gift, no matter the size, can make a difference.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thanks to your generosity, we were able to outfit our science lab with state-of-the-art microscopes. When we pool our resources together, we can make a significant impact on the Armbrae experience for our students. All gifts, regardless of size, have the power to inspire.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
At Armbrae, the annual fund campaign is really the backbone of our fundraising efforts. That's because the projects are designed to enhance the learning of current students. So we conceive of and raise funds for the project this year, for example, and then we launch it next year. In the past, you've supported projects like smartboard upgrades in classrooms, classroom furniture upgrades, playground equipment, the new class set of microscopes in the science lab, and of course the new bike shelter that's being built this week. So thank you for your support of those projects. Like all independent schools, tuition fees only cover about 85% of our operating costs. So it's through the generosity of donors like yourselves that we're able to bridge that gap. This year's projects include musical instruments, visual art equipment, and smartboard upgrades across all divisions, and of course our scholarship and bursary fund as well. In the coming weeks and months, you'll be given opportunities to support the project or projects of your choice, and I just wanted to take a moment here to thank you in advance for doing so.
Thank you for your support.
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 afternoon, fans, and welcome to Maritime Athletic Profiles on YouTube for today's live coverage of Armbrae Ospreys basketball action. It's the 2023 Ospreys Winter Classic set to begin today with an exciting matchup. Two of the top Division I teams in the capital region of Nova Scotia. It's the Armbrae Ospreys taking on the Millwood Knights. How you doing, folks? My name's Alan April. I'll be joined by the legendary Hall of Fame coach Bev Greenlaw on commentary shortly. But we've got an exciting game here, kicking off an exciting weekend tournament. 8 of the top Division I basketball teams in the province here at Armbrae for an exciting weekend tournament before the winter break. And the Ospreys come in with a record of 1-3, on a bit of a slide actually, having lost their last 2 league games to the Millwood Knights and Auburn Eagles. However, both these teams have been very busy in exhibition play as well. And the Ospreys fresh off a win at last weekend's Grammar Classic tournament. Meanwhile, Millwood won the DHS Classic tournament last weekend. They have a 3-0 league record with wins over Jail Ilsley, Armbrae, and Woodlawn. As we get set to introduce the starting lineups here. Great crowd here in attendance, lots of kids as it is 2 p.m. on a Thursday in December. Hopefully they are getting an educational component out of today's game. If you were to tune in to the webcast with Coach Greenlaw, you could get a whole basketball education in an hour and a half, but for the fans below, hopefully they're this applies to the curriculum somehow. So here come the starting lineups. The Millwood Knights, coached by Damon Cole, assistants Mervyn Upshaw and Tracy Williams. Number 1, Barori Tishimwe, grade 12 guard. Number 2, Paul Otho, a grade 12 guard forward. That's number 4, Fabian Colley, grade 11 forward. Number 7, Tyler Mulva, grade 11 guard forward. And number 27, Ryan Miller. Ryan Miller is a grade 12 guard. So 2 notable absences out of Millwood's lineup today, potentially their 2 top players. In grade 12 forward Donovan Reed and grade 11 wing Jaden Lucas. Both under 17 provincial team players. Both had big games last time around here. The starters for the Osprey, number 1, Ronai Beals, the grade 10 guard. Number 4, Ollie Nadeau, the grade 10 wing, fresh off an MVP performance at the Grammar Classic this past weekend. Number 6, Jaden Berglund Simmons, who did not play in the previous meeting between these two teams. Number 12, Sam Proietti, the grade 12 forward. And number 15, Trave Jones. So Armbrae pretty much at full health, aside from Dion Coward not in the lineup. Number 10, grade 10 guard forward, who is out with a broken bone in his foot. And momentarily here we'll have Bev Greenlaw join us as we get set for the opening tip. Right on time, Coach Greenlaw. Good to see you. Oh, no, we're good. Toss on the headset when you have a chance, no rush, and we'll get into it. We've done the formalities, we've introduced the game, and there's the opening tip as it's picked up by Tishimwe, and he'll get it back from Mulva. Calling out a set now, Tishimwe, marked by Jones. Miller coming to his left. Nothing there. He'll give it back to Tishimwe. And it looks like we had an issue with the clock, perhaps. So 11 seconds on the shot clock. However, 15 seconds have gone off the game clock. Well, they're going to put 14 on the shot clock. As now we have the legendary Coach Bev Greenlaw joining me on the mic. How you doing, Coach Greenlaw?
I'm okay. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. Now, Mulva He was a hot shooter the last time these two teams played. Gets it over to Otho. He misses the three. Rebound tracked down by Trevay Jones, and the Ospreys coming the other way for their first offensive possession of the afternoon. Ronai Beals. Silky smooth, grade 10 scoring guard. Now Ollie Nadeau has his pocket picked by Fabian Colley, and Colley smooth in the other way for the finger roll. So Nadeau and Colley with those long arms. That's a good matchup between those two number 4s.
Well, long arms and quick hands, so.
Now it's Pro Yeti driving baseline, gets it out to Jones. Jones steps through the lane, high off glass, no good. Rebound tracked down by Colley, and here come the Knights. As this is Miller. Out of the horn set, he is blocked, and it will remain Knights ball on the baseline, 14 on the shot clock. Coach Greenlaw talking pregame, you know, the last time we were here, unfortunately the fans couldn't hear all of it, but it was a dandy of a game, a 74-73
You and I had a good chat, as I recall.
comeback win by Millwood.
Yep.
Millwood missing a few players, we'll touch on that, but what do you expect to see out of today's game?
Well, interesting. Fill me in on who the missing players.
Donovan Reed and Jaden Lucas.
Yeah, okay.
Perhaps they're two top players, two provincial team players. Reed was a big problem down low last game, as we can recall. But we saw Millwood with some depth last game as well.
Well, one of the comments I was going to make was that an interesting thing to watch in this game would be with Millwood playing their strongest players, what that matchup would mean. Because remember, last game, Armbrae got the early lead when Coach Cole decided to send a message to his starters about effort level. The message was received clearly before the game ended, but it did affect the way the game, the early part of the game was played.
Yeah, I mean, especially for that being a league game, that was a bold move by Coach Cole and his staff, but it definitely paid off with them coming back from, I believe, 24 points down in the first half.
Well, it's a bold move by a guy who's been around the game a long time.
Former St. Mary's Huskies standout point guard.
Clearly I knew Damon when he was a kid at the Community Y, so I knew him from even further back. But he's been around the game and around a lot of good basketball people for a long time.
As Barori Tashimwe lines up a three, no good. Expect him to step up today with the absence of Reed and Lucas for the Knights.
Are they injured, by the way? Or?
Reed is actually dressed on the bench. He wasn't listed on their roster, but I do see he's dressed at the end of the bench. I do not believe Lucas is here in attendance today.
Okay.
As first substitution of the game in is number 30, Reese Oliver. Reese Oliver checking in for the Knights. Now Ryan Miller, the grade 12 guard. So typically we'd say this Millwood team has 5 grade 12 starters returning from last year's bronze medal team. However, as we've mentioned, missing 2 of those key starters today.
Yes, although as you pointed out earlier, Millwood showed us the first time out they've got some depth.
As this is Jaden Berglund Simmons spinning, falling away, but Trevay Jones there to clean it up. And that is an impactful man in the middle for the Osprey.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been watching since we last were together. I've watched a fair amount of high school games, Metro High School, and I was in the Valley and saw Horton play as well. Girls, but I'm watching boys and girls, and I think there is a fair amount of parity.
So I was mistaken. Donovan Reed is about to check into this game. He was not listed on the score sheet as Samuel Pro Yeti knocks down the triple, and that's a big boost for the Osprey as Millwood takes a timeout. Before we talk about Donovan Reed, great opportunity here to chat a little bit about. Actually, they're not going to grant that timeout, but Samuel Pro Yeti, I believe he's got 5 already in this game as the Osprey are off to a 7-2 lead. What can you say about Samuel?
Sam's a very bright, attentive player. He's worked very hard, I think. I first met him last year, and most of these kids actually last year, and watched them develop. He's really worked hard to improve. He really is very solid and steady for them, as I think you've seen already. He won't usually be their top scorer or top whatever, but he does consistently good things when he's out there. And there are times when I think Coach Tremblay uses Sam to anchor some of the younger, particularly the youngest of the younger. They're all young. But
Proietti is going to check right back in after one quick possession off. They're on that last play, Nadeau using quick hands to pick the pocket, but I believe Berglund Simmons called for a travel on the catch.
Okay.
As here is to Shimwe.
Nice
Gets it down
find.
low for Donovan Reed. Reed powers up and puts it in through
Now
Peyton
Armbrae's
Flint.
got to work harder to prevent him from getting that kind of position. Great find by number 1, by the point guard.
As that is an impactful substitution, Donovan Reed. He had the game-winning basket in the last matchup between these two teams. As there is Nadeau, no good from the left wing.
And remember last game, Armbrae really defensively did not have an answer for Reed when he got the ball in the paint.
Now Reed catches on the right block, called for
There's
the
a
charge.
pretty good answer.
Well done there by Peyton Flint. I think he expected that spin move, just set his feet and took the contact right to the chest.
And again, the difference there, the basket that Reed got just a possession ago, he had perfect position when he caught the ball. No move necessary. There, he had 3 dribbles, probably could have accomplished the same thing in 1, and gave the defender a chance. Peyton had a chance to read his body motion, anticipate it, and step in. Well done defensively.
I don't know if we had a technical called there or if we're not in the penalty already, so technical or unsportsmanlike foul of some sort. I didn't actually see the officials
I didn't
signal.
either, yeah.
So Elijah Mantley shooting 2. And Mantley misses the first, the grade 9 guard. Checks in cold and asks to shoot the technical free throw.
That's not a bad experience for a grade 9 guard who is a shooter and who is, I've seen several of the high school games I've seen have involved Armbrae. He has become one of their best decision makers in the last week and a half. He doesn't make a lot of mental errors. Most of his errors are due to the physical. He's grade 9. He's not physically there yet, but.
Mantley now, and this is a big lineup for Armbrae with both Flint and Jones in. You don't see that often.
They've started to do that a bit more often, and it's beginning to pay dividends. They've got to learn how to make it pay total dividends, but there's Elijah with soft touch on a nice dish by Touré.
As Mantley flicks it up and in and extends the lead to 9-4 midway through this first quarter. Oh, nicely done, but Reed can't get the gimme layup, steals it right out of the arms of Flint, and he'll head to the line to shoot 2.
When I started to talk about watching the high school ball, one of the things I've noticed, it's amazing how many layups get missed.
Yeah.
Both genders.
It's true.
Both genders, and often the work has been done. It's the player in the backboard, and they simply don't use the backboard accurately and make the layup. I don't know whether it's a lack of concentration, what it is, but it is astonishing how many missed layups.
As Reed misses the first free throw. And I'll see if I can get an update as to what's up with him, but
yeah,
you got to think it could be Coach Colson another message, or it
well,
could be an illness or
though,
something.
Right?
Yeah, it is a school day.
Who knows, you know?
Yep. 2 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon. A great crowd of young folks here at Armbrae Academy. It's awesome to see all ages out cheering on the Osprey. And this is their first of 2 games today. They'll play tonight at 7 against Horton. As Mantley puts up a triple, doesn't get the roll. Rebound tapped out to Shimwe. Headman's for Miller. He powers up again, no good on the layup. And a good job there, backtracking by Mantley to make that one difficult. It will remain Millwood ball on the baseline.
Defensively on that one, transition-wise, we talked a little bit about the need for better transition. Nye was the deepest of the 2. Elijah, as a shooter, was a little higher. That transition should have had Nye sliding over to get in that lane, and then Elijah could have peeled off. And it would have been tougher for the offensive player.
As Jones rejects Reed, kick out, triple, Barori to Shimwe, knocks it down and cuts it to a 1-point Ospreys lead.
Tashimwe appears to me to be a very complete player from what we've seen of him. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Big guard, can shoot, can drive, can pass a little bit.
And what I just said about layups?
Peyton Flint, if at first you don't succeed, try again.
Peyton is incredibly active
Yes.
off the ball. That's maybe the most
One
impressive
of those
thing about his play is how
quick
active
second
off
jumps
the ball.
you can't teach.
But did he gather and gain balance on either of the first two? And the answer is no, he didn't. On the third, he actually did take a half count, gathered himself, got balanced, and went up and made it. But to get the three is...
Flint now on the line, converts the three-point play, extends the Ospreys lead back to 12-8. 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Teshimwe has played every second thus far. Gets it off for Miller. Motion offense here for the Knights. This is Otho on the left wing. Now Mulva. Mulva drives, more than a shooter. Nice take with the left hand.
Is he a lefty? I'm trying to remember.
I don't believe so, as Jaden Berglund Simmons right back at you for a quick two for the Osprey. And when Armbrae gets going in transition, they are a handful.
I think he is a lefty. Either that or he's
Well,
very
he hit
ambidextrous.
3 threes pretty much on back-to-back-to-back plays in the last game between these two to clinch the Osprey
Nice
win.
deal.
And there,
Well done by Renai.
Ronai Beals feeds Berglund Simmons for the easy two, and Armbrae getting the transition game going. Teshimwe lost the handle on the gather and turns it over. As Ollie Nadeau will check back in. And first look at Victorian Oliver, the grade 10 guard for the Knights.
He did some pretty good things for them last game too, as I recall.
Yeah, as a grade 10 guard, he's impressive, and I think, again, without Jaden Lucas in today's lineup, he'll be asked to do a little more, but Ollie Nadeau knocks down the triple.
That's what I think Armbrae has to do more often, is create opportunities for Nadeau to catch and shoot. That is his real asset. He does several things well, but he does that extremely well.
And Armbrae's half-court pressure is starting to cause problems. That's 3 straight turnovers. As Nadeau open again.
Good look.
Same spot, different result, and it will remain Armbrae ball on the baseline.
Not quite the same rhythm on that shot.
Well, what really changed the game last time was the third quarter and the pressure of Millwood. And I'd be curious to see, a bit shorthanded today if and when they go back to that press and how Armbrae handles it this time around.
I know that Armbrae have spent some time working on adapting their approach to pressure.
Great hustle there by Ryan Miller.
And so indeed it will be interesting to see. And I suspect if the game continues as such, we will see it. So it will be interesting to see what the response is.
Here is Shane Lucas. High post touch for Donovan Reed at the elbow. Reed will hand it back off for Lucas. Hand off now for Oliver. And the little shovel pass, no good. Nye Johnson shot out of a cannon. Doesn't get it to go. Jones follows it up and in.
Great job. Great job by Trevay running the floor and being there. I always told my players, presume your teammate is going to miss. Or presume he's going to make it, but be there to take it out of the mesh after him. But the chances are very good, under pressure, having come the length of the floor, at speed, that there may be a miss. Far too many players don't make the effort to get there to help their teammate out.
Absolutely. It's probably the easiest way to get buckets is just run the floor hard in transition, fill a lane and run, and that's when easy opportunities fall into your lap.
It's amazing how many opportunities arise out of someone working hard.
Absolutely. As we'll talk a little bit about this tournament, the Armbrae Winter Classic. I mentioned before, I think both these teams have been in tournaments 3 weeks in a row. A lot of basketball over the last month or so.
I said to you, I've seen a lot of games. I think too many of these teams are playing too many games and maybe not getting enough chance to get practice, frankly. But, I mean, it's one of the things that happens at the high school level, I think. You have to take games when they come. Sometimes you get overscheduled. You end up getting invited to a tournament at the last instant, et cetera. But there does need to be a little better ratio of practice to game than the schedule thus far has allowed for at least some of the teams I'm aware of.
So this is an 8-team tournament. I believe every game will be streamed by our friends here at Maritime Athletic Profiles. We've got Armbrae, Kennebecasis Valley out of New Brunswick, Millwood, Horton High, Sydney Academy, Woodlawn, CEC, and Bayview.
Okay, and a chance to see some other teams that we
Yeah.
haven't seen so far.
You know, Kennebecasis Valley out of New Brunswick, Horton High out of the, I believe, the western region, and CEC out of the northern region.
And I haven't seen the Horton boys yet. KV, typically in New Brunswick, have been fairly strong boys program and girls programs over the decades. I'm not sure what the current version is like.
It's Berglund Simmons.
Strong take, but again, overshot the layup.
Oliver now coming the other way. Finds a wide open Ryan Miller. 3-ball, knocks it down.
And coming into last game, remember that we had Miller scouted as probably their primary three-point shooter. Then
Him and Mulva.
Then they showed us that they had a few others.
Yeah, absolutely. As I think I saw Mulva, this Millwood team was at won the Dartmouth High tournament this past weekend, and I saw Mulva hit 7 3-pointers, had 24 points, and was player of the game in the championship game.
And again, he hit those 3 in a row, big ones last time that were difference makers. I mean, well, maybe the difference makers, really. Nice take, and he stayed down.
Yeah.
Went up strong.
I like the pace of that step. He really slowed down the second step there and caught Reed slipping. As now Reed gets a post entry. Good defense by Jones. Straight up turns it away. We had a bad reset there, and yeah. No, they're talking about the shot clock reset here.
They may be talking about the shot clock reset, but if so, it's very fortunate for the young man who just moved both feet rather than establishing a pivot foot on his fake.
So they're going to put that back to 14. It was inadvertently reset on the Trevay Jones block shot. Did not hit rim, was not a change of possession. So 14 on the shot clock, 47 remaining in this first quarter. Armbrae with an 8-point advantage. This is Oliver. Victorian Oliver, I should say. I believe him and number 30, Reese Oliver, are brothers. Oliver, deep 2. Tough look. Now Berglund Simmons pushing it the other way. Leaves it for Ronai Beals. Jones fakes the handoff, looks to attack downhill.
Stayed down, nice
deal.
deal.
The paint, kicks it out, Nadeau, triple, halfway down, rims out, but there is Jones again and again on the offensive glass, and he is fouled.
Shooter's miss. Shooter's misses are backspin, soft touch.
It's in the cylinder,
they'll
just
come
takes
down,
a tough bounce.
They'll come down within basically the shadow of the rim.
Yes.
Non-shooters misses, of which and if you watch basketball enough, you'll see a lot more of those, tend to be hard, tend to rebound longer, and there's not the backspin factor so much. Now, Trevay, interestingly enough, has the makings of being a pretty good shooter.
I'm super impressed by his form and efficiency from the free throw line. And he is having a monster first quarter. We don't have stats up here, but he must have 10 points, close to 10 rebounds, and a couple blocks as well.
He and Peyton are immense factors around the rim for Armbrae. They just, particularly defensively, they just change the game.
As here is Armbrae's pressure. Broken by Oliver. 6 seconds remaining. Miller, corner 3, no. Second chance opportunity. Jones taps it out, and he does not get the shot off in time. Jones blocked it anyway.
In that instance, I'm going to call out Trevay's teammates.
Yes,
they left just said how much a factor he and Peyton are, but you can't have 4 guys. I mean, buy a ticket, fellas. You know, they basically deserted him against 3 Millwood players and said, Trevay, we love you and we trust you. But that's too much trust. Get in there and help out.
Well, what a first quarter that was for Trevay Jones. And it gives this Armbrae team, you know, last year's team was last year's team, but they did not have an interior presence like Trevay Jones. And that really changes the way you play and the, you know, it minimizes some of your weaknesses.
Yeah, really last season, Peyton, who was very raw when he joined them. But he became their most dynamic interior presence. But he was still, you know, as he still is, still learning the basketball aspect. He's mainly been a football guy.
And he's got a wide receiver build. Trevay Jones has a defensive lineman build.
Trevay, yes. I was thinking about Peyton, though.
Yeah,
Sorry.
wide
But-
receiver.
but-
I know he's a quarterback, wide receiver, do it
yeah,
all. One
yeah.
of the top players.
But
in the province.
interesting enough, I've never seen him play football.
Yeah.
but I've become interested in doing so for various basketball reasons. But yes, he does have a wide receiver type, and actually, his movement without the ball is worthy of a good wide receiver. The other thing I was going to say is Will Abbas was
Yes.
defensively something of an interior presence for them last year, not so much offensively.
So we get set to begin the second quarter. This game 1 of the Ospreys Winter Classic. Game 2 coming up at 4 p.m. We'll see Woodlawn versus Bayview. And then tonight, the Osprey will be back in action at 7 p.m. as they host the Horton High Griffins. It's Berglund Simmons. Nice in the lane, and that is a charge well done by Victorian Oliver.
On that ball screen, which was almost inverse because you had Sam, who's a perimeter guy, ball screening for Trevay, who's more of a kind of high-low post guy who can handle out there. But having set that ball screen, Sam then hung around. We had 3 perimeter guys jammed up with Trevay, which partly is how the defense was able to be in position to take the charge.
Oliver now swings it over to Shane Lucas, another grade 9. Lucas puts his head down, goes hard to the rim, and that'll be a blocking foul against Ronai Beals.
I thought it was
Bro
against,
Yeti.
I think they called it on Sam in the reach. Unnecessary to foul there because the job had been done. It was going to be a tough take. If the kid made it, he made it. But, not necessary to foul on that one.
So this is Shane Lucas, grade 9 guard. On the line,
And
misses the first.
He showed some real talent for a grade 9
He
player last time as well, yeah.
Absolutely. Again, this Millwood team, they, the headline is return most of the roster that won the provincial bronze, starting 5 all in their grade 12 year. But as we saw last time, a lot of good talent from their grade 9s and 10s as well. Even Tyler Mulva, the sharpshooter, he's a grade 11. As Beals,
That's a pretty good look.
deep 3, knocks it down.
One of the very pleasant things we're seeing so far, Alan, that we sort of I harped a bit about the last time, but I am aware the Armbrae coaches have been working hard on it. There's much better player and ball movement. Spacing, ball is now reversing, penetration is being looked for. If it's not there, the ball moves. Less ball sticking.
Miller drives left, up with the right hand, no good. That was good sound defense there by Berglund Simmons. Beals steps through, blocked from behind by Oliver.
That was a real good defensive recovery because Renai had, done the right things to get a pretty good look.
Lucas stumbling and fumbling, but does the right thing, just jumps on it and wins his team a possession. It will remain Millwood ball on the baseline as Tashimwe.
Comes Nye Johnson in the game. Just to elaborate on that last point, Alan, as Armbrae, we talked about this. Armbrae's got a lot of individual talent. It's young, it's learning, it's developing, but it's talent. As the ball begins to move and the players move more frequently, more quickly, the defense becomes a heck of a lot tougher. So they're now getting more one-on-one and one-on-one plus opportunities rather than 1-on-3 and 4 stacked.
It's Tashimwe coming off the down screen, open look, and
Good old
Otho
board.
cleans it up with the offensive rebound. Next time I want to get a good look at what Armbrae's doing defensively in the half court. It's a zone. And as we know, zones can...
well, one of the things they do even with their man is they do a lot of switching.
Gotcha.
Sometimes, sometimes that's very effective. It was effective earlier. Okay, over to you.
No, that was too quick as Lucas gets the second chance. Otho 3, another offensive rebound and another one. And I was going to say, as we know, against the zone defense, sometimes offensive rebounding can be a weakness.
Well, I find whether they're in zone or man, frankly, Armbrae, they don't box, and they haven't yet gotten a consistent defensive approach to their rebounding. They do rely a lot on Trevay and Peyton's innate ability to retrieve the ball off the glass, and that when they're on the floor together, that's a pretty high percentage thing to do. But watch the Armbrae bodies when the shots go up, and then we'll talk.
As Tashimwe, shot clock down to 14. He rejects the screen, kicks to the corner. Lucas, nice pass down for Reese Oliver, but he is stripped on the way up by Nadeau. Now Beals pushing the other way. close to a backcourt, and stolen away by Victorian Oliver. Both Olivers in the game. I got to read full names.
Fair enough.
As Otho ran into some contact from Flint there, no whistle. Now to Shimway, drives left. Beautifully done, able to finish with a little English.
He's solid. He's just very solid.
Now Beals up the right wing. Looking to go one-on-one with the Shimway. Good defense. Otho brings the help. It will remain Armbrae ball.
Renai is fortunate to get that back. That was not, again, what I've just sort of praised them with their ball movement stuff. That was an instance of making a little too early decision to commit to trying to get to the drive. It was defended well. He was off balance. He was fortunate to retain possession.
Beals now swings it over for Nye Johnson. Nice handle. Johnson gets to the left, but bottled up
but a good D
by both Oliver brothers. Now Miller. Out for Victorian Oliver. It's marked by Elijah Mantley. Reese Oliver brings the screen. And ill-advised pass down low, but to Shimway. Well done. Good nose for the ball and beautiful pump fake and good footwork to get the
He's
finish.
got a good sense for the game.
He's having himself a big
in
afternoon
the right place
already.
often.
Now to Shimway with a steal. Millwood in transition. Miller steps through. No good off glass. Reese Oliver, second chance, and he is fouled. Hit the ground hard. Although this floor here at the Osprey Nest has a nice cushiness to it.
Not really.
It's better than the hardwood. And we'll get a timeout here from the Ospreys. So, you know, Millwood has cut into this lead. I believe the Osprey led by 12 at the end of the first quarter. It's down to 7. If you're a fly on the wall of Coach Tramble's huddle right now, what do you think is being discussed?
I think he's going to talk about getting back to the player and ball movement they were exercising. Again, because they've had so many games and not very much opportunity to practice, he's had to use games as his teaching points. And I know they've been concentrating on offense, and they're making a lot of progress. You'll notice now that when they get the ball defensively, there's quite often a rapid advance kind of thing. So they're head manning, whatever you want to call it. They're getting the ball up court quicker, so there's less piddle down here. Less often are they getting caught with a 1-on-3 dribble fest at the top. The ball is now moving. The players are moving. Next thing I think they're going to have to do offensively is when they're setting the ball screens, the player setting the screen is hanging around within a meter of the area of the screen. That just clogs the D. They've got to set the screen and then get themselves at least 2 meters away from where the screen was set. They can choose the angle. It can be a pop. It can be a dive. It can be whatever. But right now they're clogging that up, so the ball screen isn't being quite as effective as it could be. Defensively, their main thing really is about rebounding, as you pointed out.
And Trevay Jones back into the game after a short rest. Perhaps that will solve some of the defensive rebounding woes as Reese Oliver hits the first from the line. And no good on the second.
Indeed.
And right on cue, there's Trevay Jones with the defensive
Now,
board.
get rid of the ball. Thank you.
As Nye Johnson. Millwood definitely in a zone. Tough finish there by Berglund Simmons. Hanging and finishing under the defender. Now to Shimway, knifes into the lane, kicks it out. Oliver, top of the key. Bring the double, skip pass to the corner. Otho, triple, knocks it down. Cuts it to a 5-point Ospreys lead. Paul Otho, the grade 12 wing, with a big-time shot there and a steal. And here comes Otho the other way. Showtime. Close enough.
Decided to make 2.
2 points is 2 points.
Yeah.
You can see he was measuring up his steps.
He was thinking about
Yeah.
it. You're absolutely correct.
Trevay Jones on the block. The double comes. Kick out for Mantley.
Nice.
Extra swing. Berglund Simmons can't get the roll to go, but there is Jones on the offensive glass, and Millwood steals it away. Jones has got to be careful. It was a reach.
Don't want to do that.
And Barori to Shimway, triple. Count it. And we're all tied up at 30. Big second quarter for the Knights. Berglund Simmons in transition. Jones couldn't handle that low pass. And Armbrae a bit sped up right now. To Shimway, drops it off. Oliver back to the line for 2.
This rate of exchange does not augur well for Armbrae as much as it does for Millwood. Earlier on when you made the comment about the floor, I was actually looking at the scoreboard and thinking the lead was very similar. Not very cushy.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I like that.
Too much time and not enough of a gap.
Yeah, well, we saw the last matchup between these two teams.
I'm a
Armbrae
hard work
took
guy, by the way.
I can reckon.
This stuff, all of these synthetic surfaces, and research has shown this, it's too hard on the joints of the kids because you've got too much traction and it just puts too much stress on the joints.
There you go.
There was a period in, I forget which year or decade it was, a lot of salespeople went out and made themselves money, but it hasn't been great for the joints of the youth since.
Very interesting, as that's a nice press break there by the Osprey. Shot clock already down to 12. Johnson knifes in, floats it up, doesn't get the roll. Flint, no good.
As Peyton learns to, as he comes down, to widen, use one foot to be your pivot, widen with the other, gather, and then go up strong, knowing what your target is, he's going to finish those. He hasn't learned that yet, but he will.
As again, Armbrae just out of control, and you see Coach JT frustration on his bench. As Oliver, a lot of contact there. Second chance.
I think that was a good no call, actually,
Fair.
on contact.
Miller drives and turns it over. Nadeau, 3-on-1. Beals, tough finish.
Well-timed assist pass by Nadeau. He allowed Renai to get angle and step on the deepest defender, then delivered it so that Renai was, the defender could not recover. Renai was able to go in and finish, and Renai is, as you've said, one of the smoother finishers on Armbrae.
Is he ever? Before we get into that, I'd like to pay some bills here. Armbrae Academy would like to thank our gold sponsors, Leeway Marine and Zach the Builder. Silver sponsor is Armbrae Academy, so Armbrae, thanking Armbrae here on the broadcast. And we'd also like to thank Jill Ritchie Realty from Royal LePage Atlantic, Cameron Meyer out of Ferguson Home Sales, and Sport Check.
It's so good to be doing this with a professional.
There you go. Oh, it's great to have the legendary CCAA Hall of Famer, Bev Greenlaw, on the call here.
I'm just happy to be here. Quite
Gotcha.
accurately. I'm very happy to be
I
here.
didn't know, but I'm guessing from your attire today, you a big Boston sports fan.
This is from my
Red
daughter.
Sox
My
and
daughter actually was given this by
Bruins on
the Red
or
Sox.
Notre Dame on the hat.
That's also due to my daughter. She works with a company that works with pro sport.
Cool.
So we were at the outdoor game in Notre Dame.
Wow.
And we were at Fenway for Mookie's return.
Wow.
Courtesy of the Sox. So.
Oh, that's one of the worst general manager moves in recent years.
I am a Red Sox fan. I made that decision as a youth a long time ago. It was a decision. But I've made clear while I was there, I will never forgive you for what you did with Mookie.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I won't.
As, nice little break there as Donovan Reed back into the game. He has not played much tonight.
Yeah, it's
this
interesting.
afternoon, rather.
Maybe he's not maybe he's a little bit under the weather.
That would be it. I didn't see him going through warm-up. His name wasn't on the score sheet, so maybe just, you know, in the lead up to the game,
Only
he said,
speculation,
write me down and I'll try for a couple minutes.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
It is, yeah. As this is to Shimwe.
Jalen did a good job of getting up and defending that.
Reed on the post catch. Going up against Jones. Flint was there to help.
Interesting. He took his time, had great position, but then the angle of his release was totally wrong instead of going off the glass.
Nadeau now from the left wing. Up to Beals. Jones thought about the three. Sizing up Reed. He'll spin and is stripped by Tashimwe. He's got excellent hands. Tashimwe, nice through. What a player.
And again, Trevay, that aspect of Trevay's game right now, that's not the strongest aspect of his game. He's got to try to get the ball slightly lower and then make fewer dribbles to get what he wants to accomplish. And then, again, I've commented, he sees the floor and sees teammates well. So if he can start working harder to get position a little more advantageously and then not having to rely as much on as many dribbles, he's going to become more effective. Particularly when a guy like Tashimwe is lurking because he knows what he's doing.
Peyton Flint on the free throw line. Can't hit the first. Flint, the grade 10 forward. We talked about his football potential. He was also named a Metro All-Star last season for the Osprey.
He played very well for them last year, and he was their primary interior force, really. Again, he runs the floor so hard and so well, and then does good things once he arrives.
Shimway now around the read ball screen. Nice drop off. Well done. Shimway sold that with the looked up top and dished it down low.
That was just a very well executed two-man game.
Absolutely. By
both players.
As the kick out now for Nadeau in the corner. Simmons. Might have been a little bit of a walk on the catch, but good ball movement nonetheless, and Jones gets it over the front rim.
It worked out, but life will get richer if the minute that thing comes out, Jalen is immediately thinking to get the ball over here where there's an entire open floor waiting.
I didn't like the way he caught it and stepped back beyond the three-point line.
Yeah, it worked out, but it wasn't the best approach.
Has Nadeau,
That's tough.
finish.
That's a tough move.
Drifting
Left-handed
to the
kid
left, high off the backboard.
but he switched to his right hand midway through.
This is Lucas. Oh, Peyton Flint with a big-time rejection, sending that one back where it came from.
Again, Peyton and Treve change the defensive picture for Armbrae for the opposition. You're just encountering, it's much more difficult to finish.
Nye Johnson back in now for Armbrae. Oliver rejected by Jones as the shot blocking on the interior really starting to ramp up again, an inadvertent shot clock reset.
Yeah, as we were just discussing. But I'm impressed by the young Oliver.
Yes,
yeah.
Victorian Oliver, number 3.
Victorian Oliver. I was impressed with him last game, and I continue to be impressed. That was a good take.
Yeah.
Treve's just Treve.
Yes.
but the young Oliver kid does a lot of very good things. That's
a dangerous pass and a big collision. Flint and Oliver at midcourt. It's going to go against Flint, and he's slow to get up.
Right leg, I think. The only thing Peyton did wrong there was his angle. He was a little too close. He could have sort of shot the gap a bit more, and they would have had a clean steal. He saw everything. Unfortunately, we wouldn't have had this collision. I think it's his right leg.
Yeah, that's a dangerous pass off the inbound for everyone involved.
We hope it was just a knee banging. Which
this Armbrae team, we've talked about it, they've had their fair share of injury woes early in this season. No Dion Coward out with a foot. The last time we were here, we saw injuries. Nye Johnson and Ollie Nadeau both were banged up a little bit, ankle injuries.
Well, and Nye had come into that game not fully recovered from a high ankle sprain, so he just re-aggravated it. But this, you'll notice that he's not moving the right leg. I think he banged the right knee. I'm hoping it was just a bang, which hurts like a lot,
yes.
but is not going to hurt you. Whereas if it's a twist, then you got a potential problem.
As Coach Tramble comes out to midcourt, but it's an unfortunate thing. We do have ourselves a dandy of a game in this second quarter. 37-35 is the score, a minute 30 remaining. And a little bit of insult to injury. That did go as a foul against Flint. Obviously, he's got bigger concerns right now.
It's actually often the guy who commits the foul who does get hurt. Partly because you committed the foul because you were out of position at a bad angle.
So we talked about tonight's schedule. Again, after this, we've got Woodlawn against Bayview. Bayview has been a strong team so far this season. I know Armbrae beat them early in the season, but they've got some wins under their belt. As Flint, you're completely right, it's that right leg. And he's not putting any weight on it, so we'll
but
hope for the best
he did point down to Coach Tramble when he came out. He pointed to more of his lower calf ankle area. So that's potentially good news in that it's not his knee, but now we have to see what is it. Hopefully not Achilles. And again, it was an effort play. The only thing he did was misjudge the angle of his gap shoot.
Yep. So Sam Proietti steps in, replacing Flint. Certainly a capable grade 12 forward. Although we talked about their size and what Flint and Jones have been bringing it as an advantage on the interior so far in this game. And to lose Flint in the first half of a busy weekend. They play again tonight at 7. Could change the way they're looking to do things, but Armbrae back to action now as Berglund Simmons turns it over against the pressure. This is Shane Lucas. He'll drop it off for Tashimwe. Good patience. Maybe an ill-advised pass, but it bounced right back into his hands where he was able to finish down low.
Wow.
Well, we're seeing that pressure from Millwood and Armbrae.
Yeah. The turnover pass by Jalen. As you probably have guessed, I have a lot of dictum. One of them is, don't pass up into the hands. It's even for girls basketball, for one reason or another, girls tend to want to try to do it. It never works. Guys basketball, similarly, even in the NBA, if you try to pass up through the hands, it will not work. You can go up, but you've got to go over the hands. In that instance, better to go down because you were double teamed near center line. You're already worried about back over, etc. And to pass up into those hands, what happened is almost predictable.
As Millwood takes over possession off the travel by Jones. Alvin Chialo, number 26, into the game for the first time this afternoon for the Knights.
Almost.
Tashimwe nearly lost it. Now Reed over to Chialo.
This is potentially a fun matchup.
Tashimwe.
Because Nye also has quick feet and hands, as Tashimwe.
Nice pass by Proietti and a good finish by Nadeau.
Really good finish to that break. Great timing on location on the pass and a really nice finish by Ollie, who almost got too low, but finished it well.
All tied up at 39 apiece. Tashimwe kicks it out. Chialo called for the travel before the shot.
I didn't see it, but my guess is he caught it and then hopped. A lot of kids tend to do that with the three, and it doesn't get called frequently enough. It is a travel. It's a way to cheat to get rhythm, actually. It is a travel.
So 0.1 or 2 separating the game and shot clock. Armbrae can hold for the final shot here if they so choose. Jones looking to get into the lane. Reed might have gotten a piece of it. Jones gets it back. He's stripped. 8 seconds on the clock. 5, Lucas. 2, Tashimwe from 35 feet. Knocks it down. Oh, baby. Barori Tashimwe from the logo gives the Knights a 3-point lead heading into the half.
It's one of the areas that Armbrae have got to change their approach. With this many young kids, too many of them are not aware of how to hold to the last shot. I watched them play, can't even remember who it was anymore, but on the weekend in the Grammar tournament, and in one game, in 2 separate quarters, they went early and gave the opponent an extra opportunity to score before time ran out. In those 2 instances, they didn't get scored on. This one with Tashimwe, again, who's just very, very solid, has a complete game, knocking down the 3, it hurt them.
Are we in break? Oh no, we're going to step aside here for 8 minutes. We'll be back. Our friends from Maritime Athletic Profiles, shout out producer Dylan, is going to show you some fire replays here. And we'll be back with the second half. You're watching live coverage of the Osprey 2023 Winter Classic right here on Maritime Athletic Profiles.
Your gifts directly contribute to real, tangible change on our campus and will immediately impact all of our students. With your support, we can expand our programs and fund enhancements to our classrooms and co-curricular learning experiences. Your gift, no matter the size, can make a difference.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support. Thank you.
Thanks to your generosity, we were able to outfit our science lab with state-of-the-art microscopes. When we pool our resources together, we can make a significant impact on the Armbrae experience for our students. All gifts, regardless of size, have the power to inspire.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
At Armbrae, the annual fund campaign is really the backbone of our fundraising efforts. That's because the projects are designed to enhance the learning of current students. So we conceive of and raise funds for the project this year, for example, and then we launch it next year. In the past, you've supported projects like smartboard upgrades in classrooms, classroom furniture upgrades, playground equipment, the new class set of microscopes in the science lab, and of course the new bike shelter that's being built this week. So thank you for your support of those projects. Like all independent schools, tuition fees only cover about 85% of our operating costs. So it's through the generosity of donors like yourselves that we're able to bridge that gap. This year's projects include musical instruments, visual art equipment, and smartboard upgrades across all divisions, and of course our scholarship and bursary fund as well. In the coming weeks and months, you'll be given opportunities to support the project or projects of your choice, and I just wanted to take a moment here to thank you in advance for doing so.
Thank you for your support.
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 Time Athletic Profiles YouTube live coverage of the 2023 Osprey Winter Classic, the opening game between Armbrae and Millwood, and it has been a good one. Alan April here with Coach Bev Greenlaw, and Coach, Millwood with a slim 3-point lead, a back and forth first half. What do you expect to see out of this second half?
Well, it'll be interesting to see whether Armbrae can regain their spacing, good angle attack, space, and ball movement with relatively quick per player possession, or whether they lapse into the sort of stickiness thing. Meanwhile, Millwood, I think, will continue to apply as much defensive pressure as they possibly can in as many different ways as they can. And again, I think a factor will be, will Armbrae figure out how to rebound defensively? And without Peyton, that becomes more difficult.
Samuel Proietti
Nice.
right back at you with an open three.
Nice turn and kick by Nadeau to set that up. Pass was received in perfect rhythm, and bingo.
As there's a corner three for Othau. That's
Less
off.
rhythm on that shot and pass.
And Proietti pushing the pace now for the Osprey. Beal straightaway triple. Money, 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 money. And Millwood takes a timeout.
Once again down here in transition, but nicely delivered. Renai was able to step into the catch in balance and rhythm, clearly within his range, had rebounders. That's my definition of a good shot, within the flow of the team-o. By the way, that within the flow of the team-o, too many people don't understand that. That is a big influence on whether or not the individual shoots it in balance.
Sure.
The quality of the pass and what led to the pass will lead to great rhythm and balance for the individual shooter.
Well, and speaking of that, I want to give a shout out to Proietti. I mean, he didn't play a ton in that first half. He started the game. He scored 5 of their first 7 points, and then we didn't see him so much during the second quarter, but he knows he's back on the court, comes in, knocks down an open three, pushes it up the left wing, 1 pass, 2 passes, and Beal's straightaway triple.
Remember I said he has a kind of a consistent presence. Interesting enough, I think you'll see he'll be in and out throughout the game.
Yep.
He'll play in short spurts, but when he's there, he does bring typically, not always, he's a human, but typically a solid, stable presence and does some good things.
So the Knights, full hockey substitution, fresh 5 on the court, including Donovan Reed. So you wouldn't call it their bench necessarily, but they went to the bench and a fresh 5 as Coach Cole did not like the way they started.
I think this is Coach Cole once again having a conversation with his veterans.
As this is Shane Lucas driving left, has that blocked. Bad reset again. Reed down low is fouled.
Because think about this. The last time we saw them play,
Yeah.
how did the third quarter open? It opened with Millwood asserting and surging. How did this third quarter open? Now, who was in the lead in the first game and who was in the lead this game? Flip, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So what Coach Cole is doing is sending a little lesson in terms of approach coming out of the locker room, whether you have the lead or do not.
Let's see how his starters, now his bench, respond to that. But right back at it is Demarion Downey, the grade 12 guard. I don't think we saw him in the first half, but an offensive rebound and a putback on the free throw, and just like that, we're tied up once again at 45. Berglund
And I
Simmons.
think we saw him very briefly in the first game, did we not?
Yeah,
Remember
we
late?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Berglund Simmons.
there's some depth on this Millwood team.
Good defensive awareness there by Oliver to blow up the handoff, but Jones now finds a gap. Good positioning by Reese Oliver. And Reed will bring it across half court. Now Downey kicks it out. Spinning is Reese Oliver. High off glass, no, but the whistle will
might
send
have
him to the
gotten
line.
away with one quick little extra step once he came out of that spin, but we'll never know.
And that's one of those ones, Nadeau, that's already a very difficult shot. You don't need to swing to block it.
Again, on offense, when you release your shot, always follow through high and keep it up there. On defense, never.
So Reese Oliver shooting 2 from the line.
In fact, on defense, the best thing is to get your hand up in like a defensive jump shot position and pull your palm, sort of palm to the ceiling, pull your wrist back. And then you've done everything you can, and you will not get called for the foul.
Sometimes you still will, but that's the...
I was thinking that, but I wanted to give the refs a break on that.
Fair, fair. As Millwood back in this pressure, nearly forced the turnover. Proietti, nice catch, and hangs in the air. He'll head to the line to shoot 2.
But this we can say, you will not commit the foul.
Fair.
If a whistle is heard at that point, discussions with the referee may well be in order.
But again, the calming influence of Samuel Proietti there. Not trying to do anything too complicated when he catches the basketball.
Well, again, the advanced pass gave him receipt with angle. He had the first step. So, you know, in that instance, you're either going to score or get fouled most times.
Misses both free throws as Downey tripped up. And that's going to be a foul against Berglund Simmons. And we don't have the foul picture here, but I believe Armbrae has been in the penalty each of the first 2 quarters, and they've already got 3 in this 3rd quarter. So
impatience of youth.
It's my least favorite thing, a foul 90 feet away from our own basket.
Yeah, my least favorite thing is a foul that wasn't necessary.
I shouldn't have brought that up. As Downey drives baseline, doesn't get it to go. Second chance opportunity, Oliver. Swings it over for Shane Lucas. Defended by Nadeau, he'll reset. Oliver, good post position there, but the triple team comes and they tie it up. It will remain Knights' ball.
Good defense, and he allowed himself to have that happen to him because he was doubled initially, dribbled, didn't go anywhere, turned no corners, and that allowed Ollie to come in from behind and become the 3rd player in and get the near steal.
Downey over for Lucas. Kick out. Victorian Oliver drives baseline. Stripped.
Good pick by Nye.
Nye Johnson. Headmans for Berglund Simmons. Contact. No basket. The offensive foul. That's a 50-50 one.
That is, yeah, that's a little questionable, I think. But
well, and that's a big turning point again for Berglund Simmons. That's back-to-back fouls for him. And we're going to get Armbrae going a little deeper into their bench as our first look of Cale Brown.
Charge block is always tough, but you have to judge on the angle that the defense does or does not have against the O. Jalen did a pretty good job of getting himself downshift and under control, and I think avoided the charge angle, which makes it probably a good no call.
That's Victorian Oliver. Top of the key, shot clock already down to 12. He'll kick it out for Downey. Triple, no. Reed climbs the ladder, but Johnson comes in to intercept the rebound. Now Beals up the right wing. Kane Brown. Up top now. This is Johnson. Probing, flipping it up and in. Tough finish.
That's a very tough, very late decision, well made, and very well executed, but very tough shot.
Oliver, defended by Nadeau. Oliver blows by, kicks it out. Downey, he'll drive baseline. Tough reverse. Jones got a piece of it, and here come the Osprey in transition. It's Beals, hangs, didn't finish. He's looking for the contact lightly.
Yeah, there's a whole anatomy to making that shot. We can break it down sometime.
Lucas, open triple, no. And Brown corrals the rebound. 6:25 remaining in this 3rd quarter.
Grade 9 kid.
Cale Brown, grade 9. Yeah, I didn't have him on my game notes here, but we've talked in the past about Armbrae's depth, and now we're going to see Millwood go a little deeper into their bench, and I know that number 6, Danico Upshaw, showed out. It was his birthday yesterday. He is the son of Marvin. So number 6 is, yeah, I think you'll see a resemblance once you spot it. He's the son of Marvin Upshaw. It was just his birthday yesterday or the day before I saw Marvin.
Is he grade 9?
It says grade 10.
Grade 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
As that will remain Millwood ball in the baseline. Also checking in for his first action of the game for the Knights is number 14, Jake Darling. Johnson gets it in for Mantley. Size advantage there over Upshaw. Just puts it up and in.
Again, good control, took his time, found the target on the glass and hit it.
As Cale Brown's going to be called for the foul there. A bit of a hand check against Oliver. It's a tough matchup for the grade 9. Victorian Oliver, speedy, shifty guard. And again, Armbrae, 3rd consecutive quarter, they're in the penalty. So Victorian Oliver will get a chance to shoot too.
when we had the little exchange about fouls, one of the things that is underappreciated, coaching young teams, it's very important that they learn as quickly as possible how to cut down on the number of fouls they commit, because it does put them at a disadvantage throughout, and young teams typically commit way too many fouls that are totally unnecessary because they're overeager.
Well, against a team like Millwood that wants to pressure you and expend a lot of effort on the defensive end, giving them a chance to breathe from the free throw line. But there's Nye Johnson. He just wanted that one more.
Nye, over the last about week, maybe 10-day period, has really demonstrated that he is slowing himself down when he gets into the paint. He's bringing himself much more in focus, in balance, under control, and he's taking that extra half second to do that. That's about what it requires, half a second or less. But too many players don't do it. He's staying down, he's playing down, he's taking that extra count to gather himself and be at his best when he makes the attempt. That's a nice finish.
Fabian Colley with a tough finish, up and in with the left hand. This Millwood lineup right now, all grade 9s and 10s. As Johnson kicks to the corner, Mantley catch and shoot three, no. Jones, he is just too big for, he's a grade 10 too, but that was a man among boys rebound right there.
And speaking of what we were just speaking of, one of the areas I think Trevay has to get better at, he has to make a breakthrough, is putting the ball away. He presents the ball a bit too much to the D. It's exposed too much, which is part of why you see so many deflections and whatever when he's going back up. Once he learns to put the ball away, take that half count, gather, and go back up with his best strength, with the ball protected, I think you're going to see a marked increase and upstep in terms of his finishing.
As Jones splits a pair from the line. Rebound by Darling. Now Oliver. Gets it across half. It's marked by Johnson. Darling brings the screen. Shot clock down to 10. Colley. Now Oliver has to make something happen. Shot clock down to 6. Colley brings the screen. Oliver rejects it, steps back, shifty. Colley floater to beat the shot clock, but gets the second chance, stolen away by Mantley. And here come the Osprey the other way. Johnson looking for Cale Brown, bit too...
who is who and how? What is the situation now? Good to look. You recognize you've got an inexperienced grade 9 kid who just came into the game. Maybe you don't throw that pass at this point.
And Will Stewart checks in for his first action of the afternoon for the Osprey. We saw Stewart with a big moment in last week, or 2 weeks ago, the game against Millwood.
Stewart had some very good moments for Armbrae in the Grammar tournament.
Yes.
He hasn't had a lot of floor time. He got more floor time in that tournament for a variety of reasons, but he performed very well.
So with 4:50 remaining in this third quarter, and this being a tournament where each team's going to play, I think, at least 4 games, we're seeing both teams go a bit deeper into their bench than we're accustomed to. As Nadeau blocked on the putback, but there is Jones.
That dish or the kick out by Nye to the corner for the J, much better chosen than the cross court, full court, the one to the younger guy.
Darling, this is a down low for Colley. Good
Did a
post
good
position.
job creating space for himself legally.
Colley powers it up and in. Now Stewart, stripped by Colley. Long grade 10, behind the back, step through, count it. Fabian Colley.
It's interesting, almost no matter who the combos are here, it remains a very interesting game.
You know who I see in attendance here as Trevay Jones misses the layup, and we'll talk about that in a second as that one bobbled, no half-court violation.
Nope. And no travel, although nearly one.
Oliver looking to break down Mantley. Oliver, nicely done. Darling floater, stop shot.
That's almost a FIBA foul. That's like almost an intentional, we're not going to give you the breakaway, you know.
Clear path, 2 shots in the ball. But
no,
that
not that, but the tactical
international
play foul where they will give up a foul rather than let you have that easy, fast break.
So I see Jace Colley, a tremendous player. He's now at UPEI. He played at Auburn. He went Division I to Chicago State, played at St. Mary's. Anyway, I see him in attendance, and I see a resemblance between him and number 4 Fabian Colley. So I don't know.
Could be a family connection.
Could be a family connection. So as Trevay Jones hits the first of 2 free throws, giving Armbrae back the 1-point advantage. Misses the second. There's Will Stewart. Definitely contact there. No whistle. And Oliver will come away with it. We still have not seen the starters return to action for Millwood. Upshot triple. Short. Rebounded by Mantlett.
Good outlet.
2-on-1 here. Beals got to pass it to where he's going, not where he was.
Yeah, his intent was correct. His delivery was not. But the
2-on-1 sometimes make sure they're actually stopping you.
Actually, the 2-on-1. My way of teaching the 2-on-1 is space the floor.
Sure.
So that one player cannot defend both. Put the
Just
ball in the hands of the best handler and score unless they stop you.
Beals gave that up before he was stopped. So.
That's the formula. Score unless they be under control and score until they stop you.
In a fast break like that, the more passes that are made, the more chance you've got to get back.
Yeah, it's funny. Augie Jones and I were joking about this the other day because he played for me in several places. One was the Canada Games team that won the gold, and he said, you had us drilled in that 2-on-1 where you score unless they stop you. If they stop you, we get the layup. He said we got bored. It worked so well. We got bored and started to do other things. But humans, right?
Yep.
But that is the basic rule: is space the floor wide enough. If you can, put the ball in the hands of the best ball handler.
As Beals hits the free throw, I thought he did give a look to make the pass before he was actually stopped.
He did. That's exactly what he did.
Beals, second chance opportunity, no. Reed.
Now the intent, which to be fair to him, was I think he thought, because the other factor is, does your teammate have a step behind the defender so that you just get it past the defender and it's a layup, right? I think he thought that was already there. It wasn't. And again, the pass wasn't delivered. So,
as Berglund Simmons 3, no. Millwood has brought back 4/5 of their starters, their grade 12s. As there's Miller, corner triple, knocks it down.
That guy can shoot.
And gives Millwood back the lead. I was going to say, they brought back in Reed, Mulva, Miller, and Tashimwe, but they kept Colley in. He's deserved it with his play in this third quarter. Beals. I don't know if that was a pass or a shot, but either way, it ends up in the hands of the Knights. Now Colley, headmans for Tashimwe up the left wing. Miller, same spot, different result. And Stewart.
Yeah, it's interesting the timing of those subs too. It's kind of like Coach Cole says, you have 2 minutes to show me that you're prepared mentally to play the way I want you to.
I like it. Well, and those first years, or grade 9s and grade 10s, put in good hard work, and they kept it to they have the lead currently.
Well, and when you're playing Armbrae, you're playing largely against people, guys your own age, right? Their level of experience is similar to yours.
Berglund Simmons flips it up. Nice floater.
Jalen has been better at his takes today in terms of staying down and being under control.
Shimwe kicks it out for Miller. This time attacks the closeout. Doesn't get it to go. And it will be Armbrae ball heading the other way.
But there was almost a no board there. The kid did a good job sliding in and getting offensive board position.
Nadeau.
Oh, well done.
Beautifully done. Millwood's in a 1-3-1, I believe, but it's leaving a lot of space.
Sorry, I didn't get a real good look, but it was
and they're looking to trap on the side.
It was certainly a lot of gapping, and a 1-3-1 could suggest that kind of gap because you got just the one guy down there, and if he doesn't get the match. But the offensively, Jalen, no dribble, catch, find, touch pass, boom, over.
Rory to Shimwe. Despite barely playing in the third quarter, this has been his afternoon. Tashimwe has got to be the high man in terms of points on the day.
I'll take a closer look at that D if we get to see it again.
Millwood in the half court. They're definitely looking to trap on the sideline.
Interestingly enough, I've seen a fair number of 1-3-1s in high school ball in the last week.
My team runs it.
It's not usually well played.
It's not our go-to, and it's not our go-to zone. But if we're trying to get some half-court pressure, that's what we do. It's Mulva. Around the horn, it's Miller. To Shimway, gets it back. Around the Otho screen, good ball movement by the Knights. Miller, open triple, doesn't get it to drop. Now Reed finds a cutting Miller, count it in, one. Tough finish there by Ryan Miller, hooping the harm.
Again, Shimway does a really good job of doing the right thing. Finding Miller, and the ball didn't go in, but it was a wide open shot for arguably, certainly among your better three-point shooters. In rhythm, open, rebounding, you know.
Nicely done there by Donovan Reed as well, getting the offensive rebound. And first thing he did was look to see if anybody was cutting through.
And Miller, to his credit, made a nice hard cut.
Oh, and here is Millwood forcing the turnover to the press. Mulva, don't leave him open, and that's why.
He's right-handed.
There you go.
We just answered our question. Although he can finish left and take left very
I'll tell you, Bev, I believe Armbrae was up 61-57. If I'm not mistaken, that's a 10-0 run.
Yeah. But again, decision-making, choices.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, this Millwood team, you cannot let them hang around.
Can't be quite a 10-0 run, though, because remember that little quick layup by
Yeah, I think that was the one.
But it was probably 12-2? Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Because Armbrae did have a 4-point lead not long ago, and now they're down 6.
Yeah.
So
another
third quarter performance by the Knights.
The game, moves so quickly.
Yep.
And as the athletes get longer, clock gets shorter. Court space hasn't changed. Just a lot of stuff can happen very quickly. So and again, the first thing I kind of pointed out to people whenever a number of decades ago was when we went to 24, is that means more loose balls. There are more loose basketballs, both rebounding, exchanges, possessions, whatever, by a multiple, really. I mean, it's an important difference. And then you've got the actual play is much shorter than that, usually. The average possession is a lot less than 24 seconds, so.
I'm just going to ask you if you thought Armbrae was going to hold for one this time, but
we're
they're
not
going to have
find
a
out.
chance at 2 shots from the line here.
Yeah.
And Millwood, I was also thinking, wow, this is a good chance for them to get Donovan Reed a couple of minutes of bench time right now. They take the timeout, put him on the bench. He'll start the fourth quarter, but
by the way,
with an offensive possession coming up, they need him.
Yeah, my speculative answer to your question coming out of a timeout is that they were going to hold for one.
Gotcha.
Or be significantly chastised upon return.
Now Millwood will have the opportunity for the last shot if they want it. With 11 seconds remaining, shot clock is off. To Shimway. Reed brings the high ball screen to Shimway. Kicks to the corner. Mulva, triple, no. Reed to beat the buzzer, no. Well, 2 good looks.
He often, he does good things with the body to get the shot, but the angle of his attempt tends to go across the glass rather than at the glass. But by the way, the other side of that coming out of the timeout is I think that's why Coach Cole put the pressure up that he did, because he did not want to allow them to hold for the last shot without being under extreme pressure every second thereof.
Well, that was an entertaining third quarter. And, we've seen 70 minutes of basketball between these two teams, and we've seen a little bit of everything, haven't we?
Well, and from what we have seen, we would anticipate the fourth quarter will probably narrow the gap. Maybe Armbrae even goes up for a minute or two, and then back and forth. These teams seem to enjoy playing very tight games.
And I, as a commentator, I enjoy it too. As a coach, maybe not, but as a
well,
commentator.
no, I mean, from this perspective,
it's lovely.
I said to somebody, it's, when you comment about the referees and their calls and stuff, and, and how to approach it attitudinally, it's a heck of a lot easier from up here than it ever was down there.
Absolutely, yeah. What a little bit of distance and perspective will give for you.
Well, I always tried to have perspective, but in some instances that is impossible because, frankly, sometimes really big calls change the outcome of games. People say it doesn't, but in fact, sometimes it does. And those ones are hard to live with.
So
but you must.
We get set to begin the fourth quarter. What a game, the opening game of the 2023 Ospreys Winter Classic.
There's the switching we were talking about earlier. They do a lot of early switching.
Post touch here for Fabian Colley. Had a nice third quarter as shot clock is down to 6 to Shimway. Floats it. No. Good rebound there by Johnson.
Colley should have been looking to kick the minute he got hung up.
Berglund Simmons downhill. He'll kick to the corner. Mantley catch and shoot 3. Just off.
Pass was enough off to take him out of his rhythm.
Nye Johnson's rebounding is pretty impressive for a player his size.
Nye does a lot of he does a lot of interesting things to get loose balls. Basically, we were talking about he causes steals, he disrupts passing lanes.
Miller on the dribble drive. Mulva, quick trigger. Oh my! Pure shooter.
The man can
I'll
knock
tell you,
it down.
he wanted that possession, that ball for about 14 seconds off that possession, and he got it. And it took less than a second for that ball to leave his hands and hit the bottom of the net. Millwood's lead up to 8.
Remember what we were talking about presenting the ball?
Yeah, I thought that could have been a no call on the tie-up.
Yeah, he's got to get it and put it up around his cheek and chin area and strengthen the elbows a little bit and then be prepared to rip through. At this point, he's kind of presenting it with the elbows below the ball, and that makes you very weak and very accessible. The ball is very accessible to defensive hands.
Jones misses the first.
But again, these are things you learn as you develop.
And hits the second. And I think another interesting thing, when you look at a player like Trevay Jones, are you coaching him to be a post at the next level or maybe even a wing?
You're coaching him to be a basketball player.
Ah, excellent. That's a perfect answer. Colley brings the ball screen around for Mulva. I think you know what I mean. We'll talk about it more. We'll talk about it more in a minute.
I'll elaborate what I mean.
As Miller drives baseline. Nice dish down low. Jones turns it away, and that will be a shot clock violation.
I started coaching at Community Y in the 1970s. I've had some really good point guards, several of whom were our best low post scorers. But they were point guards. I've had some bigs, quote, quote, who were very, very good on the perimeter and were not effective at all in the low post. So I played them on the perimeter. I always matched them up, hopefully against the defensive big for the other team, and pulled them out. And where our kid could be effective. It's about figuring out who you're looking at, what they can do, and then developing them as the best basketball player they can be within themselves. You can't make somebody into something they're not.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Now that can
I think
sound
that's a trap that a lot of young players fall into as well.
And a lot of coaches.
Yeah.
And that can sound deterministic, but it's not. It's the opposite.
Right. Whereas, you know, you're 6'5", 6'6". Of course, the coach is going to want to put you in the post and in the center on.
I'm sure
on
somebody tried to put Magic at the age of 12 into the post.
Sure.
And he probably did go, but he learned how to dish from the low post, et cetera, et cetera.
He hit that sky hook. He filled in at center in 1980. He had some post moves. As Nadeau catch and shoot 3. No. Might have been a rhythm one.
And
there.
by the way, post Magic, there was a whole era of tall kids who could not play the perimeter who decided they were going to be Magic.
Yeah.
And that was sort of a waste too.
Mulva in the corner couldn't get that one to drop.
Even there, if he learns to rip that thing, he's going to become much cleaner and quicker with his outlet. And he's going to avoid those kinds of 2-3 second delays. That's risky, lucky.
As Johnson finds a gap and floats
Notice
it in.
the quick hands on that rip when he caught it.
Johnson has been a bright spot in this third quarter. Or fourth quarter, sorry.
Yeah, that was fast. We're in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. As to Shimway. Oh, touch pass there. Shooter to shooter. Miller doesn't get it to drop. Otho fakes his man out off the line. Shoots the 3. No. Jones. Good outlet that time for Nadeau. Up the left wing, marked by Mulva. Dribbles into trouble. And here come the Knights. It's Colley, fouled at midcourt. And he lands awkwardly.
I do not think the referee had a clear vision of that play between you and me.
Which one called it?
This guy who was a trail.
Yep.
We had two defensive players here, an offensive player between. Nye shot the gap toward this sideline. He may or may not have gotten his hand in there, but he did not block. That is one thing of which we can be certain.
So 6:43 to go. Donovan Reed back into the game. Question is, will he remain? It's Miller, corner triple. Oh, good, but those are two clean looks for an excellent three-point shooter. Jones steals it away the rebound. Now Johnson, blocked by Miller.
That would have been an instance which, on the catch, if Nye had delivered a bounce pass to Sam, probably scored the layup because he had distance and angle.
John Tramble just got a technical foul here. So he wanted I think it goes back a couple plays, but Nye did not get
it's a
the
residual
call there.
technical.
Right. So
although
now,
it's cumulative in the sense that the call we were discussing and then that,
yes,
which I didn't see clearly enough, frankly, to know whether it's got an iron or not, but it's the cumulative effect is what.
Mulva hits the free throw, so they're up 5. Armbrae ball on the baseline. I'm just looking at Donovan Reed. I think he's sick. He's coughing, he's sweating, he's breathing hard. As missed shot there.
My guess is you're right.
Yeah,
just the
missed
way
shot there by
Damon
Nadeau.
has and has not used them.
Yeah.
You know, nice.
Nice drop off for Jones, but straight up defense there by Reed. Not trying to block it, just trying to alter it. And another foul in the backcourt. And Armbrae.
I think Coach Tramble wants to finish the game on the bench, so he can't comment
Now he's telling his guys to settle down, but I think,
yeah.
Armbrae's feeling a bit rattled right now,
yeah.
just with the way this fourth quarter has gone, and they're only down 5.
Yeah.
Post entry here for Reed.
Oh.
Turns it over, but right into the hands of Mulva. Okay. Late call, but probably the right call, and it will be a Millwood baseline inbound.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate. All he had to seal and just lost the handle.
Yeah. And you got to be careful sometimes trying to save it right under your own basket.
He didn't save it under the hoop. He saved it directly back.
Yeah.
The way to place to save that is in the corner, by the way, the nearest corner.
This is a good zone offense by Millwood. I love getting the ball to the short corner there.
Yeah.
If you have a baseline inbound, get it to the 3 post corner, and then somebody cut it in.
Zono is actually a lot simpler than most people seem to think. Short corner, high post, dives, exchanges, and whatever.
Exactly.
Skips.
Yep.
Use the dribble to draw a second defender. And one of the things is if you can get the ball live at either elbow, within 2 passes, you're going to have a 2-on-1. And the draw 2 thing is draw 2, pass, so that you can get a 2-on-1 within 2 passes later. And that's most of zone offense. Space, obviously, angles, gaps, all that stuff. But
as Reed missed both, but then got that deep post position.
But in full agreement with you that short corner is a great thing against the zone because it just distorts their slides, right? I mean, they can't do the other things they want to do in a zone and still keep track of you. And then I have a thing there called ninja cut, where, where the ninja in the show kind of goes behind the whatever. Same thing. Go short corner to short corner behind the rim.
So foul there against the Knights in the backcourt. Armbrae trailing by 7, 5:40 remaining in this fourth quarter. Millwood brings the double. Risky pass, extra pass. Beals, triple, no. Renai Beals has had somewhat of a quiet game. He had a big 3 to start the second half. I don't think he's scored since. And to Shimway, he has not been quiet. Big time game for
10
Barori.
points, a little over 5, so this is
Nadeau, nice pass. Jones can't get the touch. And here comes Lucas, grade 9 guard. Oliver, triple, no good.
Good box out.
Berglund Simmons gets the rebound. Now Jones attacking.
We've already discussed it.
I mean, he was standing completely still, but
yeah,
those are hard.
Is this diplomacy in action?
I think so.
But, by the way,
Those are
back
hard
to
calls to make. Two
back-
big bodies, one's running into the other.
Trevay got himself off balance.
Yeah.
But back to the finishing thing, when I was saying, you can see cumulatively, Trevay, as he learns how to finish, Armbrae's offensive effectiveness is going to take a marked jump upward. But he needs practice time and work and reps to develop his ability to finish in traffic.
A little preview here of Bayview entering the gym. We'll see them in the next game against Woodlawn High. As Ollie Nadeau splashes the triple, much needed for Armbrae.
Good
Cuts
ball
it to a
movement
7-point game.
and got him that catch and shoot opportunity that I think he probably needs more of.
And nearly forces a turnover. Otho elbow jumper. That's
nicely
smooth.
done, tough shot.
As Beals is open in the corner. Still open. Armbrae hasn't even looked at him. Johnson.
I don't think Nye saw him. He was wide open on the entry, actually.
Renee gets it back. Now extra pass to the corner. Berglund Simmons traveled on the catch.
Looked like he moved his pivot foot before he went. Got a little anxious. But he did. The decision for him to drive was a good one. He's not primarily a three-point shooter, so he's trying to create something for, through penetration for the team.
To Shimway. Good ball movement. Oliver. Shot clock down to 11. Mulva. To Shimway. Rips, drives baseline, and finishes with the left hand on the right side.
Beat him on the first step.
Shimway having himself a ball game. Doing a little bit of everything for the Knights. Johnson, tough. Doesn't get the roll. Jones taps it to himself and is fouled. And we'll head back to the free throw line to shoot a pair.
Naya's been making some pretty good things happen. Why he didn't see Renai that possession or two ago, I don't know, because he was pretty observably open. Mind you, he was against sort of a half-court zone type pressure, laning pressure, so he may have just felt it was too risky, but.
Jones hits the first, cuts it to a 10-point Osprey deficit with 3:38, I think, actually, remaining. And he hits both. Oh, dangerous pass there against the press. Otho had to get it away and works out for the Knights.
The off-ball kids for Armbrae didn't rotate.
Yeah,
and
if that dangerous cross-court pass makes it to its destination, then it should be an easy basket. As Beals.
Good dish that time. Nice trail. Kind of like we were talking about zone offense, that high to low dive.
Beals
is
picks
tough to
the
defend.
pocket, back-to-back buckets for Ronai, and the
3 minutes.
lead is down to 7 with 3 minutes remaining. Armbrae ramping up the pressure. Otho trapped in the corner, finds to Shimway, good patience, kicks it out. Lucas straightaway three, no. Oliver flying in for the offensive board. To Shimway. Wow.
Again, even before he made that, I'm very impressed with Tishimway's consciousness of what's going on.
I'll tell you what, after that offensive rebound, it was 5-on-3 as a pair of Osprey had already leaked out.
Left the
left the nest.
Yep.
Mulva thought about the three. Instead, will do the right thing and kill a little bit of clock, get it to their primary ball handler. Mulva, he'll shoot that one. Oh, halfway down. That's what you call a shoot or miss. Now Beals on the outlet. Oh my goodness, so smooth. Silky smooth.
You can get that
Beals.
little angle with one step in transition. Very tough for the defense to prevent you from getting a good look.
No, that is a next level move right there in transition. And it's down to an 8-point game, but they can't keep trading buckets. They need some stops. What did you hit a step goal?
No, we're good.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Message from Mars.
Oh yeah, the fans are ringing you on the Fitbit.
We've arrived. But yeah, it's 2 minutes, 8 points, difficult. Not impossible. Probably in a way the onus now falls on Millwood to dictate the remainder of this game. If they make good decisions with the basketball and without it, and are strong to it, strong with it, whatever, then they can pull this out. Armbrae has to try to induce a little bit of freneticism into the Millwood offensive approach, and then a number of things have to go well.
So just looking a little bit at the upcoming schedule for this tournament, both teams will have Horton and Kennebecasis Valley in their bracket. Armbrae will be back on home court tonight at 7, hosting the Horton High Griffins. Millwood will be back on the court tomorrow at 2 p.m. as they host Kennebecasis Valley. And Millwood will host Horton at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And Armbrae will host KV at 8 p.m. and then playoff on Saturday.
There's the first turnover, and that is the kind of thing that Millwood would prefer not to have attempted that early in the clock.
It's Millwood still trapping. Beals.
Nice. Well,
Doesn't
didn't
get
go,
the
but he
roll.
did a lot of things right on that take. Got the angle, didn't get it quite high enough on the glass.
Shimway now with 1:35 remaining in an 8-point game. Millwood is going to kill some clock. Miller.
I think Shimway is going to kill some clock. Once he gives it up, it's kind of like the other day we were watching, I forget which team now, but the experience, Auburn. The experienced guard, Andre Ash, made the right decision. The instant he gave it up, it was go time.
Beals, tough catch in the corner. He's going to try to make something happen here. No, dishes to the corner for Johnson. Looking for Beals. Now Jones gets it on the block. And he is fouled, and Jones
one of the other things I think Armbrae might look to change, with Peyton on the floor, would be different.
Yep.
But when Treve gets it in there, we don't become spectators once he shows that he's clearly going up. We've got to get in there to help him on the glass offensively as well as defensively.
Jones on the free throw line. He shot quite a few today. And
it's
as
a
of
process.
late, it's
a process.
not been going quite as well.
He is an extremely talented kid. He
Yep.
has much to still develop and learn and improve upon in terms of how he uses his offensive skills, talent, and develops them and enhances them. And that's the good news.
Absolutely, and he's been asked to do a lot in the second half, especially with no Peyton Flynn.
Yeah.
He is the rim protector. He is the rebounder. He is the
and he also finds teammates very well. He does a lot of things really well. What he doesn't do well yet is finish in the paint in traffic.
Was that the dagger? Miller hits the triple. It's Miller time. Puts his team up 10 with under a minute remaining. Nadeau for the answer. No good.
Rushed that one just a bit because he's conscious of the time and all that stuff. But the find by Treve was good.
40 seconds left. Millwood to Shimway, as you mentioned, is going to kill some clock. Nice use of that offhand.
The kid can play.
Yeah.
He understands how to play.
To Shimway.
As evidence.
Skip pass. Mulva, triple, counted it. Tyler Mulva puts the nail in the coffin of the Osprey.
That's almost a clinic in terms of how to use clock while remaining an attacking force. And it was Shimway who demonstrated it. He used his own ability, skill, whatever, was very conscious of the clock, went as the thing was turning, I think probably 11, 10, 9, kicked, pass, open J for a guy who's already shown us he can knock it down, totally within team rhythm, no rush, because you've still got lots of time for the old board. Well done.
Gotta say, it's a gutsy win for Millwood. Again, Coach Cole pulling no punches. He put the bench out there to start the third quarter. You know, Donovan Reed limited by whatever, and Jaden Lucas, their other all-star guard, not in the lineup today. And they put together a good performance from start to finish.
Yeah. My sense, I haven't discussed it. I did have a brief discussion with Damon the other day after the game, and he confirmed what we suspected.
Yeah.
But my sense is that he has a pretty good feel for who he has and
He's
what
pushing
they
the
can
right
do.
buttons.
Yeah, and whereas with Armbrae, losing Peyton is a
Yes.
big deal because he, if you look at that grammar tournament last weekend, he did a lot of stuff.
Yep.
He's so active, but Armbrae
Nadeau puts up a triple, no good.
still trying to change the way they play, and that will happen in fits and starts.
And they'll get another chance to show the way they play tonight at 7 p.m. as they take on the Horton High Griffins in their second game of this Armbrae Ospreys Winter Classic Tournament. The Millwood Knights take the first one by a score of 92-79, a commanding performance. And I don't think we're giving out player of the games, but Barori to Shimway, what a game for him.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly was, although Mr. Nova, is it, the shooter?
Mulva, he hit some big threes.
Miller, a number of their other kids, and several of the kids off the bench did. And again, I'm very impressed by the number 3 kid,
Yep.
the younger of
Victorian Oliver.
I believe he's the younger of the 2 Olivers. But Mr. Shishimwe was the factor.
So coming up next, it will be Woodlawn taking on Bayview. We will not be streaming that one, but you got time. You got 20 minutes. Get yourself down here to the Osprey Nest. It's going to be a great game, and we will be back. I don't know if I'll be back, but Maritime Athletics will have tonight's game at 7 p.m. as the Osprey host Horton High. Looks like we are going to get some kind of player of the game recognition here, so we'll stay on for a second. Any other things you want to add here, Coach?
Just a pleasure working this with you again.
Complete pleasure. I hope everybody could hear us from start to finish today.
Yeah, that would be good. But anyway, I really enjoy doing these things with you, and I'm trying to learn from you.
Well, I certainly learn from you, and I know our fans at home learn from you as well. So player of the game for the Osprey, Trevay Jones. We talked about him a lot. He did a lot.
He did a lot, indeed. And I'm sure will make those developmental steps, and then he's really going to be a handful.
Just grade 10, a phenomenal talent. And as expected, Barori Shimway, I'm not sure what they just called him, but he is the player of the game for the Knights.
I hope we're not mangling his name, but regardless, the kid can play.
Absolutely he can. All right, so for myself, Alan April, Coach Bev Greenlaw, camera operator Maya, producer Dylan, and our whole team here at Maritime Athletic Profiles and Armbrae Osprey Athletics, thanks for watching. Once again, today's final score, Millwood 92, Armbrae 79. We'll be back at 7 p.m. as the Osprey hosts the Horton High Griffins in Game 2. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Your gifts directly contribute to real, tangible change on our campus and will immediately impact all of our students. With your support, we can expand our programs and fund enhancements to our classrooms and co-curricular learning experiences. Your gift, no matter the size, can make a difference.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support. Thank you.
Thanks to your generosity, we were able to outfit our science lab with state-of-the-art microscopes. When we pool our resources together, we can make a significant impact on the Armbrae experience for our students. All gifts, regardless of size, have the power to inspire.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
At Armbrae, the annual fund campaign is really the backbone of our fundraising efforts. That's because the projects are designed to enhance the learning of current students. So we conceive of and raise funds for the project this year, for example, and then we launch it next year. In the past, you've supported projects like smartboard upgrades in classrooms, classroom furniture upgrades, playground equipment, the new class set of microscopes in the science lab, and of course the new bike shelter that's being built this week. So thank you for your support of those projects. Like all independent schools, tuition fees only cover about 85% of our operating costs. So it's through the generosity of donors like yourselves that we're able to bridge that gap. This year's projects include musical instruments, visual art equipment, and smartboard upgrades across all divisions, and of course our scholarship and bursary fund as well. In the coming weeks and months, you'll be given opportunities to support the project or projects of your choice, and I just wanted to take a moment here to thank you in advance for doing so.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support.